Welcome everyone to the three cast episode. Some episode I don't know. I'm your
Just the most
host.
important thing is that's for January 25th.
Yes, 25th, 2017. I will be your host tonight. Matt Weber is off sick, so Vince and I are going to talk about the new iPhone,
The car
which
back.
I will be referring to as iPhone 8 because I just feel like that's what they're going to call it.
7SX.
No, I don't think they're gonna do the whole S thing. And we might even talk about that whether I like because I'm sort of 60-40 thinking they're just gonna drop that and go with a full year model every year from now on.
Okay.
But anyways, we'll get into that later. You can catch us on Twitter. My handle is Ricky_Williams1. Vince is VWHUI and Matt Weber is MTWB. I believe the 3cast is at the 3cast and it is also at the 3cast on Instagram.
Mhm.
So yes, like I said, Vince and I are both gonna talk about the iPhone 8 or the new iPhone coming up. We're gonna talk about what we would like to see since neither of us has an iPhone 7.
Now, all we got are these
Um,
crappy sixes. Oh,
I used one for a while, but I returned it just because money. Um, so yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll jump into the latest rumors, and what we think about those rumors. So Vince, we'll start with you. What do
okay.
you want to see from the new iPhone in terms of hardware, software,
All right.
whatever? What would get you to snap it up?
Well, first off, a price drop would be great. But hey, I'm that's Santa here. Okay, so I got a couple of them. That it's funny that you raised this one because the first one it wouldn't have been my priority list, except for the fact that over the weekend I was with my kid, and my phone. You know these little stupid little ports. Okay, the Thunderbolt port. You think that it's like it goes in both ways. Doesn't matter. It's like dumb simple port, right? Um, Apple, you gotta make your ports better. See, at least with the old big chunky port, like with the big bar that's stuck on the bottom of your phone, you knew that even though you had to put it in a certain orientation, you knew that once it was in, and like you could drop that and the thing would still be connected. You wouldn't like snap off things. Guess what? I snapped off the little like tic tac at the end of this thing, and I had to get tweezers and stuff to pull it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Apple's got to figure out a better way to do with its power because I'm not sure if you remember my first iPad, which was the iPad 2 or something. I had a dent on the actual port to plug it in, and as a result, I could never charge it again.
Get it in.
Yeah, and so then it just died. Like I had no choice but to let it. So
Couldn't you just take it to the Apple
nope,
Genius bar or whatever?
nope. They were like, nope, it's not us. It doesn't matter, right? So I was like, oh, screwed, right? So I have this really great iPad that makes a great cutting board. So first thing is, based on that, if they're not going to at least fix the power, because I mean, if you can remove the headphone jack, can you remove this power jack and do? No, I'm not even joking. Do the actual like everyone else has the charging stations. Can you guys please just build that and incorporate it? Because I mean, you got the MagSafe locks, you got all those other things that are convenient for power and convenient for headphone jacks. I mean, you're already trying to differentiate yourself by like going out of your way to remove headphone jacks. Why not differentiate yourself and just make it mandatory that it just works? You put it on the pad, you'll have the iPad pad or whatever.
That's actually one of the rumors. I forgot to put it. But anyways.
Yeah. But that would be first one. I got kids, man. That happens, right? Second one, let me tell you, man. The biggest problem I have every time, like, listen, man, you want to see something really crazy before the webcam looks at the wrong place? Okay, so I told you, I got one of these.
Oh yeah.
I also have. So check this out. I have one of these. I have two things to jack into my iPhone because I never have enough hard drive space. So this one is like the iXpand. It's like the 32 gig one, right? And I was using it, and it's great, except the software, it's all onboard software is garbage. You can never play a video properly without crashing. And then I also have this other one, which is Leaf, which allows me to purposely put in a small little micro SD card, and I got 128 gigs, no problem. So I can watch anything. Again, the software's janky, but at least it's worthy. My biggest thing is that Apple, please, I know you like making money. I know you hate your consumers. I get that. But listen, we need to have something that's expandable. Like, I mean, the ability to go and take my digital SLR, like it was weird. I was actually on a site, construction site, taking photos with my digital SLR, and I was trying to go, well, I got to put this out and send it to my students. I would love to have like just transferred over. Thank God I had one of these and a nice D adapter. But man, oh man, I would have loved to have been able to like just have the ability to just plug straight in and call it a day. Like I'm not asking for much, Apple. Your Android competitors are doing a lot more, and you know what? You could actually sell Apple
Yeah,
as
but they have an adapter for that. You know that, right?
yeah, I know, but like look, why can't you just do it?
Okay. Just
Like,
wanted to make sure you knew that.
no, I know, but like the thing is, I would love to have like the ability to also carry movies and port them and plug them in. Like I find it really strange to this day why you have to buy like I think there was a meme a while ago that was like Apple is now in the market of not making phones, not making iPods, not making iPads, but just making dongles, right? And that's what I finally can buy. Like I was like, look at my iPad, I gotta plug it in with an HDMI adapter and dangle and stuff. This is stupid. Please, Apple, do us all a favor. Make these. Yeah, I have no problem buying the 64, 128 gig. Hell, I'll even buy the 256 gig one, so long as you give me more capacity, so I can put in like an entire season of stuff on it.
Yeah, but you know why they won't do that? Because they want you to use iCloud.
Yeah, which again brings me back to a software thing. Okay, so I have a list, but the software thing. I have a buddy of mine, and get this. So you know I don't do IT. Everyone knows I don't do IT, but in my office, I got to kind of do some IT because some folks, believe it or not, do not know jack about computers. Okay, so I have a colleague, and I really love him, but he has like tons and tons of music. Like you think I got music? He's got like 20 terabytes of
Whoa.
swear to God, it's like he brings in a CD or two every day and just like rips them because he's been collecting CDs since like God Jesus, right?
Wow.
So he's popping stuff in, and now he had to upgrade to the Mac with the like little touch bar on the top, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So, we're trying to do this, and my God, it took us like days to transfer over onto another external hard drive all the music and stuff and to compile it all to one library. And the thing that really gets me is that he was like, well, can't I just, again, he's old, right? So, but he had a good idea. He's like, well, can't I just use this computer? And then if I got all my music here, it's like my music is ripped, it's on this hard drive. Can't I just connect to it remotely? Like when I'm in my home and just listen to my music. I don't want to carry this stupid hard drive. And like, he's right. And I said, listen, man, we had to clone his hard drive so he could actually have two separate libraries. But then he's like, but that's so stupid because you spent like, days doing this. And he's like, could you do it remotely with the cloud stuff? Because he's like, oh, I was like, wow, an old guy's talking about clouds. And he understood that. And I was like, yeah, you can, but then you'd have to pay all this money. Apple, man, could you not develop a better way to deal with Apple Music and make it comparable to, Spotify and make it more affordable, make it more cost effective? It's my music. I'm using your service. Like, annually, if you make me pay $5, I'll be cool with it. But the fact that iCloud is like, it's limited. It's the echelons are really silly. And you know what? Compared to the competition, the software, like I use this for phone, but I also use it to listen to music all the time, right? And we're all commuters, right? So this is the thing that you want to have. If Apple's trying to make portable, I'm not asking you to make like the iTunes on my iMac work better. I'm asking you to just make sure that this device, this iPhone, is able to not only just be a phone, right, but to also allow me to listen to music because it's not like I'm on this phone all the time, right? Or with my Bluetooth thing, right? And the last thing, I know this might sound really geeky. Not only fix the camera, but deal with stereographic cameras. Basically, we know that VR is catching wind everywhere. Like, I mean, they're selling phones and they're coming with VR sets and stuff. I mean, I'm actually going to get this Friday. I'm going to go to Microsoft headquarters because I'm getting a tour of the HoloLens stuff, eh?
Oh, nice.
So everyone is doing this really cool stuff with like, virtual reality and holodeck stuff, right? But Apple, man, the next step is just to integrate a VR 360 cam or VR stereographic camera so that, instead of just doing pans and stuff, why don't you just take it so you can actually do 360 videos, 360 cam. I know it sounds like a lot, but I know you can do it. Listen, you can do it. You have two cameras, right? Listen, man, I got a stereographic camera right here. This is what I'd use to take 360s for VR. It's basically the same thing. Apple can do this. And it would be a great selling point because guess what? It's going to knock out the GoPro on various levels. And you know what? Everyone's using VR now. Like the VR headsets are like dirt cheap. These things cost next to nothing nowadays, right? And if you guys Apple are on the innovation timeline, do this, and they will make sure that you guys are going to pioneer. Don't let the Samsung guys and the HTC guys do it. Come on, man, you guys have the power. Make something good. So those are my first couple of suggestions. This is my wish list. I know it's not necessarily that they're going to do them, but
What
those are
about software?
okay. So I still am asking, and I've said this every year, do not only the Siri take dictation, but read out the stuff to me and let me navigate verbally. Like, can you click on this? Say yes or whatever. I think they can do this. Like, am I being silly? Like, I know that the levels of AI are capable of doing this, so I can navigate verbally and explain.
Like, what do you mean?
Okay, so for example, um, a kid emails me an assignment, right? And I know that they emailed it to me because I can hear it. And I want to see, they'll say, Bob just emailed you, and the subject line, assignment 2. And then you can go, okay, open it up. And then, while I'm driving, I can take a quick look at the drawing and I can go, Siri, take note. Can you indicate to Bob the following, and blah, 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 blah. And then can you read what I said? Okay. Can you also read what he wrote in the assignment to me? Right. And then that way, while I'm driving, while I'm busy, because I know I can't, do this stuff on the phone, but I'm always driving, right? Like, I mean, we spend a lot of time in our cars. If that personal assistant, that AI were capable of doing all that stuff, like, I mean, Siri's capable of doing a lot of things right now. AI is really getting better. They should be able to do that. Because let's be honest here, a lot of us are using the phones while we drive, right? Plain and simple. And because of all the laws that restrict us to do that, touch it. That's more so the top, more important, right? With respect to the software thing, I also don't. I'm not a fan of the lights, the nighttime light stuff and all that. But one thing that I really do wish they put forth, again, better virtual or stereoscopic viewing, right? They can actually do that. Like, it is, when they first came out with this, I have the 6S Plus, right? So when they were like doing with the touch screen and the pushback and stuff,
Touch, yeah.
dude, if you are going to do that, like, it's probably a dead technology, like 3D TVs, right? It's the same thing. It's useless. But if you have the capacity to have like some level of capacitive stuff, then guess what? If there's depth, you should be able to take advantage of the stereoscopic 3D immersive stuff and do the same thing. And that would actually be, again, another selling point. I mean, remember when they first sold the phones and they're like, oh, look, it's got a gyroscopic thing, so you could, like, they'd have water and stuff like that in those apps.
Oh,
That's when it was so cool and gimmicky. But you know what? We need to have that stuff here too, right? Because it's not just a flat plane now. It's an immersive thing. People aren't just sending pics. People are sending videos. People are sending videos that are 3D. And that ability to, like, just hold down, push harder, so you can go forward and into a video or even into a picture. That's the stuff that's coming about. And again, that's my very clear, biased opinion and where my industry goes. But this is what I see as the future for, like, that ability to navigate not only in industry but also just a general public, right? Like, I mean, people are taking 3D videos, people are taking 3D photos, and the technology that we have to display to view isn't really there. The technology that we have for the capacity, like to carry, like, stereoscopic thing, videos and stuff, will be gigs, right? So guess what? I need more of this in here, and that's the thing that's missing, man. Oh, bless
excuse
you.
me. Thank you.
Okay. Anyways, go.
Okay, so for me, let's see, what did I want? Um, okay, so the wait, let me see. Those are the rumors. Sorry. Okay, so for hardware, I love the matte black finish of the iPhone 7. Like, I love, love, love it. So I really hope the new one has all those finishes, like the gloss black, the matte black, whatever. Like, I hope they don't go back, like, backwards and have, only black and white, or some, ridiculous thing like that. Um, the Touch ID built into the screen, I definitely want that. Like, I figured that would have, like, from the first day they introduced Touch ID, I was like, this is eventually gonna be in the screen. Higher quality front camera. The front camera is always lower than the back camera, and I realized that it's not used as much. You use it for selfies, FaceTime, which, granted is not, like, ultra popular. It's gaining in usage, and I heard that with betas they're going to be introducing multi-party FaceTime.
About damn time.
So
Honestly,
So like if you're gonna do that and people are gonna use it more, a better front camera is definitely gonna be like that's gonna be, really great. And I really this is a big hardware thing for me, a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Because when I had the iPhone 7, I still have a 2012 Retina MacBook Pro.
mhm.
None of the other computers where I work and where I live have USB-C, which means that oh no, wait, that's lightning. Okay, scratch that. I was totally totally off the wrong end there. I was thinking because I had the Touch Bar MacBook Pro and I was like, I can't sync this now. So I was
Oh,
thinking backwards.
yeah.
Sorry. But for people who have the USB-C on the Touch Bar MacBook Pro,
Mhm.
that adapter would be nice to include. Um, and boost the reliability of the wireless headphones. You took the headphone jack away, um, and the huh?
It's bad. It's flaky.
No, no, no. It's good um, for the ones that they sell, but that's the problem, right? Because not everyone who buys it is gonna buy their headphones.
Wait, so they optimize for theirs, but they don't like work for other like Bluetooth headsets and stuff?
Well, no, it will work with other Bluetooth headsets, right? But Apple's like the what are it, AirPods or the Beats headphones and stuff because they have a special chip, which is a W1 chip, which is like an amplified is the wrong word, but basically it boosts the Bluetooth and wireless connection, right?
Are you
So
kidding?
that yeah, whereas just a regular Bluetooth headphone sucks. Well, think about it, right? If they're gonna put out a headphone, and if you're gonna have it and it's dropping the connection, they don't have a headphone jack anymore. People are gonna be pissed off, right?
But is it just that like the signal strength? So like I know I can walk like 30 feet away from my Bluetooth device and my Bluetooth thing starts flaking up. But if I'm
Yeah.
like jogging or something and I'm always close to it, even if I'm not using Beats or something,
Yeah,
it
but some of them, like if you put it in your pocket or like some of them, the implementation, the strength of it or whatever, is just not as strong, right?
goodness, I
So, yeah, that's why I'm saying on the phone side, whether they, like make sure that their Bluetooth implementation is really strong
wow.
or whatever, but make sure that you're just taking advantage of Bluetooth.
Apple
Um,
bag, man, that's dumb.
so, so on the software side, for me, one thing that I've been wondering why they don't have it since iOS 9 is local Siri commands. Like, I feel it is stupid, especially now because you have the AirPods and you're not always going to be in a place where you have an internet connection.
Mhm.
Like, if I say, Siri, call so and so, like, the information is on my phone in the phone book. You know what I mean? It like how does it not know how to make a call? Like I'm not saying, if I ask it, what's the score of last night's basketball game? Obviously, if I have no internet connection, I would expect that it would know that.
Mhm.
But simple things like, compose a message or call this person or add a reminder, like those are things that you can put locally.
Okay,
um,
but if I understand that the way you just described it, doesn't it imply that Siri, based on the lexicon and the syntax it's used, like it might have to actually go when you say, "Hey, go look up my cousin Fred" or something, as opposed to refer to cousin Fred Thompson or something like that. Like it's maybe a syntax issue where it has to go to the internet to check like some AI algorithm on the words that you use relative to what it has in terms of content,
Yeah,
right?
but I know the syntax and yeah, like you said, it makes sense. But like for instance, if I said, call my cousin or something, I
No,
mean, you can program it to say, I don't understand. Like it heard the word call, and it heard the word cousin. Are you asking me to call Fred Johnson?
Yeah.
Yes, no. Like that's a yes no answer, right? If I say something, and maybe calling is not, but if I'm gonna add a contact to
Mhm.
my address book, like how many ways can you say that, right? Like
Yeah.
add my friend John to the address book, like add friend, like add John address book. That's all it needs to pick out. Like really, you know what I mean?
You know this better than
Like,
me, but is it also maybe that it has like I'm not trying to defend Apple, but I'm trying to understand like the way it works. Like, does it actually hear Johnson and then automatically translates to Johnsson, or does it actually have to go to the internet and just correlate it against various ways to pronounce Johnson?
yeah, but the thing is, like,
Or
I
does the
don't
brain?
like for me that is true, but if you're doing it as a first time thing, it just has to do it rudimentary.
Hmm.
Like if I were to say add John or add Johnson to my contacts, right?
Yep.
If it creates Johnson but it spells it Johnsson, but his name is Jonson,
Yep.
that's better for me to go in there later and correct it than for Siri to come back and say, sorry, I can't do that right now because you don't have an internet connection. Like, that's frustrating, you know what I mean?
Yep.
At
I
least if it does it, but I can go in and correct it, I'm not frustrated when I ask it to do the thing. You know
okay.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Um, so I mean, you bring up good points. I mean, but I think there are still basic local commands they could put in that would, I just think it's really silly. I mean, you think about AirPods, you're wearing AirPods, you're sitting on a plane. Obviously, some planes allow Wi-Fi, but at certain points you won't have Wi-Fi. Like it's pretty silly for
Wow,
me,
I didn't think about
you
that.
know you know what I mean, like if I'm gonna say like whatever, compose this, or oh, well, you have no internet connection, like I
Hmm.
mean, okay, maybe composing because it has to like parse all the words you're saying or whatever, but I think there's just definite local things that it can do
Hmm.
that they could put in, and it would be a first step to alleviating some of those things.
Yep.
um for me, Siri in the cloud would be, I would like that because it would be able to attach to all my devices, and I would get a singular Siri rather than having a separate Siri on the phone, then Siri on my Mac. Well, the thing is, if I ask Siri on my phone
Hmm.
one thing, and if I go to my Mac and I ask it something, and it doesn't know on my Mac, but it knows on my phone. Like that's the problem. I want it to know everywhere. So if I ask it on the phone one time, I can just go to my Mac and ask, and it will know because I've already asked it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I want that correlation. Like you know what I mean? Like if I'm on my phone and I say, whatever, Siri, turn on the bedroom lights.
Mhm.
And I have my Mac and I put my phone down on the bed, bedside table or whatever. I want to just say, Siri, turn my lights down or something. I don't want to have to say, turn down my bedroom lights. I want it to say, okay, well, you just asked me to turn on your bedroom lights and you're asking to turn down the light. Obviously, you must mean the bedroom, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like that kind of. Better battery life. Battery life is good. Optimize iOS. I don't care what. But the thing is, like, I really think they need to get it where one charge lasts you a whole day, like a whole 24 hours.
If it were
Like if
like on all day, like
Yeah, like if I take it off the charger at 3, it will work until 3 the next morning.
I think
Like,
it's variable usage because I mean that's the thing that you should
no,
actually
I know with variable uses, they're gonna go with their standard
yeah like
usage
it's
as usual, right?
yeah
So,
like well,
mileage may vary. If you like, for me right now, I charge mine once a day at noon. So basically, I think I did a test the other day, and I actually never charged it after I took it off the charger in the morning, and it lasted 12 hours for me. So You know what I mean? Like average out just like usual, but you know what I mean? I think 24 hours would be like huge. So I mean, maybe it's not attainable right now, but hey, it's on my wish list. Why not?
Yeah, still a unicorn, but yeah, that's okay.
Um, and then I think my last thing was the reaction. I think to have a more natural reaction. Like when I pick up my phone, I love that I can go like this. Oh, I have it upside down, so it's not going to go on. I can do that and the screen comes on. I like that.
What?
Um,
How the hell did you get that to happen? Like,
I,
oh, oh, oh.
are you for real? I hope you knew that.
I always automatically press the buttons when I hold my
You
phone.
do? Well, that's the thing. That's why I love it because I never even have to do that, right? And to unlock it now, you just pick it up, you put your finger, and it will just unlock, right? Like, because it just raised to wake, and the Touch ID is so fast, it just boom, it unlocks. I like that. But the thing with it is, for instance, let's say you get like a text message or something,
Mhm.
the screen will wake, and you'll pick it up, and you'll be reading, and the screen will go off.
Yeah,
And for me, I think the phone, like you said, it has a gyroscope. It has like sensors to tell whether, you know what I mean? It can see your face in front of it. Like the phone should be smart enough to know, hey, he took me from laying flat to upright
damn
and
right.
he's still holding it that way. So he must still be reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why are you going to turn the screen off?
I
You know what I mean?
I know, I know, I know.
So like yeah, just making it smarter like that, I would really love for them to do that.
So
Um
that's a simple fix, man. That stuff's simple.
yeah. But I think it is simple, but I think they may be staying away from it because of battery life.
Hmm.
You know, because the screen is the biggest pull. So, you know, the less time it's on will be the less battery life wasted. But when you think about it, if you pick it up, you're still reading and it goes off. What are you going to do? You're going to unlock it, open the message. That's actually more time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like slightly, but it is still more time. So yeah, let's jump into the rumors. We'll bang those out because we're already over half an hour.
I think we covered some of
Um,
the rumors already, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. So we'll just say what you think about all. I probably won't even cover all of them. I'll just cover like the main ones. The all glass design. What are you in on that?
I think that has to happen, and quite frankly, given all the button gate situations where, like, all the mechanical parts, I think Apple's learned the hard way to not put mechanical pieces. I would actually advocate that if they're able to do the button thing, like, the touch screen
Yeah, the
stuff,
capacitive or whatever.
yeah, I'd say you could probably do the capacitive stuff on the other buttons too. I mean, so it's just a nice, clean, elegant thing. You also increase the water resistance capacity of the device by doing that. So I think that it's going to naturally happen. I just don't know if there's going to be that precision, because at least here there's an indent, so I know to put my thing there, so it actually orients and stuff. Whereas I know that with the if it was just a screen,
Yeah, with the screen, like if
yeah,
you're
like how do
not
you go
looking, you don't know
exactly?
or whatever.
Yeah,
But then think if it's a full screen design, so there's no bezel, right? It could still have that indent. But then
yeah,
I guess the screen would look kind of funny, like if
yeah.
there's an icon in that spot or something. Well, Apple better figure that
Yeah.
out.
I don't know.
um,
I just think that they're going to make a really great, elegant screen device, and if you're gonna make that, then the whole entire phone's got to be good. And I guess that comes up to the next rumors, which is like how much of a bezel, how much of the top and the bottom conditions are, and whether there's a wraparound. Quite frankly, I would love to have like just a solid, elegant piece of the same material, like the glass wraps all the way around, and it was just like this elegant. And even if I pick a really cool case, but I'd still have something that's solid, not this weird hybrid of like aluminum or whatever, and it looks lame. So I want that beautiful that I could serve
yeah,
as food.
yeah, and I think they will go with it because you know what? I think with the aluminum, I think the biggest problem was the whole antenna reception. Because ever since the six, no one liked the antenna lines, but that's what you had to do because it's aluminum and the antenna can't get the signals through the aluminum, right?
Yeah.
So they kept cutting it down, but I think they want to go to glass because then they don't have that issue. And I'll just skip the 3D cameras. We'll cut it there.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of know what you're gonna say because you already brought it up, but
Great.
yeah, you're all for that. See, it's funny because me, I'm on the other side.
Just give
But
me.
I mean, I think that's because I'm more biased because of the whole 3D push that was made a couple years ago. So they made it felt so much like a gimmick with 3D, and I kind of feel like VR was the same kind of thing with everyone touting how great it could be, Facebook and Google and everyone, and so I feel like maybe that kind of soured me on it. Um,
No, I mean,
so I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50. I think if they do a good implementation, it will be good for the VR AR because we know Apple is huge. We know there's millions of users. If they do a good implementation, then it is a bonus because that's more people using it, getting familiar with it, and sort of pushing it forward, right? So,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll see, man.
Yeah. So that is it for us today. Matt should be back in on the next one, which will be in 14 days, 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And we will be talking about Hollywood's portrayal of the actor with a bunch of movies that we watched. Some pretty classic, pretty cool.
You know
Uh,
what? I got to give you credit, Ricky. How did you come across Hot Millions? Like,
it was from a internet article that I read. They were talking about a topic which I found interesting, and that was one of the movies they had in their list.
I don't want to
Um,
give it away, man, but like after watching that, you know what? I don't want to talk about the hacking stuff, but you know what
yeah,
really came out of that movie for me? Like that movie's like 50 years old.
yeah. Did you see Bob Newhart?
No, it wasn't Bob Newhart the thing. That was like that Maggie Smith, that old broad from what is it, the Downtown Abbey or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even notice
The
that.
girl is the old lady from Downton Abbey or whatever, right?
Oh my God, that's
So,
crazy.
so that's the thing. Like she's like 100 years old, then man. It's like she's immortal. Don't count on that. But the thing that got me on that movie, watching that movie, I am so surprised at how 50 years ago, like you could like slap a secretary, you could like there's so like the gender
Oh
equity,
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't have that stuff, man.
Did you see that?
Oh,
Yeah, that was crazy, and they called them myths. It was like it was weird watching it that and like hearing that stuff and like being like, whoa.
did you see any Chinese or black people? Oh, just
Oh
saying.
man. So stay tuned. That is what you guys have to look forward to. And believe me, these are some classics. We're talking about War Games, Hot Millions, Sneakers. That was another Tron. So yeah, we'll be talking about that stuff. And so we are out.
See ya.